You know, we have some more discouraging news on a 23-year-old young lady near Baltimore, Maryland, in her apartment, was killed by police today, and her 5-year-old, I think it was son, was shot. And right off, I want to say you have a lot of tweets going crazy because right after Freddie Gray, everybody's critical about the police and the relationship with African Americans in the area, or Black Americans, whatever you want to call it. So. But this is, but I just want to say something. A lot of people say, "Wow, black women," but so far this year, you have 9 black women that were killed by cops, and this is beginning to get. This is we have a situation now. I'm just praying that please nobody go back and kill cops because you now you have a tit for tat. They kill cops, cops kill us. Now we're going to kill. So we just pray that none of that. But I'm mighty afraid it's dangerous enough here in America. We have a lot of foolishness going on, a lot of lying politicians. They're going to fix this and that. But let's get back to the story at hand. Her name was Korryn Gaines, 23-year-old, and there was a man in the house. His name was Kareem Courtney, 39, who was wanted for an assault. And so these 3 cops, they had bench warrants out for them, and they were going to the apartment to serve these warrants. Now you've heard people, some of the tweets were you should read some of these. They were saying, "What in the world were 3 cops doing, going to serve a bench warrant or serve warrants to Korryn because of a traffic tickets, and she didn't show up to court." And so when they got there, nobody answered. But to make it quickly, they heard the child crying behind the door, so they just got a key from the landlord and opened the door, or who in charge of the maintenance man, whatever. And they said she had a 12 gauge Mossberg. Do you know? Oh yes, I'm pretty familiar with guns. With double-aught buckshot. Now right away she said if leave my house, if you don't, I'm going to kill you. And they said they tried to reason with her in about an hour. Then all of a sudden, somebody called SWAT in. And you know what? This is tragic. Why would she? And her own uncle said she was an very intelligent young lady and would never harm anybody. And I'm basically paraphrasing it. Why would she put her child in jeopardy? But here goes the thing. Kareem was right there, and during all the commotion, there was a 1-year-old there, and he just walked right out the front door, past all these shots and everything. It is strange. I'll admit it's strange. And there was no cameras on the police. They weren't wearing any body cam. Yes, it is strange. I do not agree with anybody killing cops, and I do not agree, and I can't stand cops who kill innocent black. I don't like that at all. It's just getting pretty ridiculous here. Now, this is insane. But now this woman put her child, if it's true that she had put her child in that type of jeopardy, and the child was shot, but they said the child was shot in the arm. This is preposterous, folks. You're going to hear more about this. Something else we just, God forbid, I hope not. But I just got a bad feeling about this. There's a 23-year-old woman dead. Now this is the 9th time. We need to get. We have to. I myself have seen people beat down by cops for nothing. I've seen people who did years in prison for nothing. People I went to school with. Now this was originally supposed to be about Mr. Khan and Donald Trump and the war between the world, which was ridiculous for the whole world to watch. Can you imagine what Vladimir Putin is thinking about all that? But that's for another video. Right now, what are your thoughts on this story? This happened in Baltimore yesterday morning about, I think what they said, 9 a.m. And I just, and a few other things I want to cover with you. That this story is tragic, and we're going to keep following this. But I wonder, what do you think about this? This is too many people getting murdered by cops. Well, why would a woman? Why would a woman hold a Mossberg shotgun? And you mean to tell me she shot at the cop? The cop shot at her. Then she shot back with a Mossberg and didn't hit anybody in an apartment building? It sounds strange. I know what a Mossberg shotgun is, and I know what double-aught buckshots are, and I don't care what you're wearing. If you get hit with a Mossberg shotgun, you hit. But nobody got hit, and you're in an apartment? Really? Okay. Again, and a lot of people are saying, the people that knew her, where are she had videos on her social media channels. Where are they? Things have disappeared. I don't know if the fix is in her. They said a lot of other things about this young lady that, you know, she was an active, well, I'll leave that alone until that's confirmed. But it sounds strange then. This woman, there's a 23-year-old black woman murdered, and that's the 9th one. Now this is going to have to stop. Let me tell you another thing, what's been going on this year. A black man, college graduate, matter of fact, he's a lawyer. Mr. Maina Kai from Kenya. He's a lawyer from the United Nations, a Harvard graduate. United Nations official did a 17-day, a real African, did a 17-day tour of America's racial trouble spots. And he said, what a hell of a 17 days it was. You should read the report. And the article is from the Washington Post, and it says, sometimes it takes an outsider to crystallize America's enduring racism. You know, when it comes to African American, these politicians have certain terms that just slip by that people don't know about. But it was, and it looks bad for America with racism. Nothing has changed. The same thing we already know. You should see some of this report. He said black people are being targeted. They're being incarcerated at twice the rate of people. He said 1 out of every, due to the so-called war on drugs, was just to lock up black people. And you should read his report. This is going back. He took back to the United Nations and the whole world to see. It's a disgrace. You've been marching. You've been free 150 years, and you are no better off now than you were then, except you're free. But economically speaking, I'll put it, in 1860, 99% of black people worked for white people. 150 years later, 98% of African Americans work for white people. Nothing has changed for you economically, and you're being targeted. Mr. Kai said it looks like black people, African Americans, are being targeted for racism, which is a fact. He said your neighborhoods are run down, and he said you do longer prison sentence, and he said they're in an America that was taken from the Native Americans after they murdered them. You should read it. It's terrible. What you should do, let me tell you, we need to put God first in your life, because it's not going to, and America's going to be in a terrible war soon. And it's going to be martial law. They're calling America the Great Babylon, the whore of the world, the habitation of devils, and every unclean spirit. You're $20 trillion in debt. You have over 322 million Americans. You have over 12 million illegal immigrants. You're over $20 trillion in debt. And when you add up SSI, Medicare, and Medicaid, it's astronomical. You have the Asians buying up large swaths of land all over the Midwest, and they own a lot of most of the American businesses. And you have over 95 million people that are unemployed. And black people, you have to deal with a low-wage workforce. And the middle class is disappearing. Bernie Sanders was 100% right. You to pull back Build your own businesses. You have $1.1 trillion in your community. If 39 million people can't live off, can't grow and educate themselves and build their own business, so you don't need any. Stop relying on all these other races of people. It's ridiculous and it's a sin before God. Relying on other people is nowhere in Scripture, and it is not the way it's supposed to be done. This is preposterous and it's insane. Am I a race hater? No, I'm not. I'm not a racist. I can't stand racists. But the way we're going like this, we're imploding. You should see Daniel Patrick Moynihan did a survey on the nucleus of the African American family, and he reported that he told them in 1965, "You're heading for African American family disaster." I'm thinking it was one point in 1965, 80% of blacks were born in the house with their parents. In 1997, I think it was 40%, 47% were born in a two-family house. You know what happened? And right now in 2011, 73%, well, that was a few years ago, 73% of all African Americans were born in a single-parent household. And it looked like black marriage is the thing of the past. African Americans marrying one another has declined dramatically. Morals are gone. Marching up and down for 50 years for nothing. If you don't do it yourself, you're going out of existence. You don't have any businesses. You don't have nothing. You've been in every war, in every battlefront. Stop relying on other people and stop blaming the white man. Do it yourself. You come here, you got to look at China. You have a little Chinatown, a little Mexico, a little Havana, and what was a slap in the face in one part of Florida, you have a little Moscow. Now, if that ain't a kick in the behind, I'll give it up. I'm not saying integration, but separation, but everybody have their own business but you, black African American. We have to do something about this. Hell, Durham being used by target practice for cops. I don't like that at all. We need our own businesses. We have neighborhoods. We don't have communities. A community is a self-sustained unit. Your money's supposed to bounce 7 times before it leave and go out to other races and other businesses. We need to stop now because, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, if you don't have businesses, you're going out of existence. What did the Bible say? My people err for their lack. My people err for their lack of vision. We have to stop all this murdering each other. Stop black on black violence. Then other people will stop killing you. Stop it. There ain't nobody else have no business coming in here and shooting people down. That's if they're innocent now. And I know some innocent black people that have been killed. And it's ridiculous. Stop it. I don't trust cops myself. Not all of them. And I know there's a lot of cops that are nice. I've met some. But you have an awful lot of cops that are crooked. I'm from the city myself, and you had a lot of people out there slinging. Cops had a lot of people out there selling drugs. Remember Larry Davis in New York? Remember? Put God first and ask for direction and build your own, black man. When you start disrespecting yourself like you're doing, following these rap stars, you got everybody else disrespecting you. Or you have in the black community liquor stores and churches, and they're not even teaching the gospel. God bless. We need God now.